I I would please like to have that question answered. Let me ask first, are we on the record? Is there a court reporter present? Uh, Phyllis K. Webster, will you please recite your oath of office into the...
All right, folks. Today we've got a sovereign citizen who's not exactly a legal mastermind. This one's a real spectacle. You can practically see him flipping through his bargain bin, Sovereign Citizen Survival Guide, trying to keep up with his own script. And of course, he stumbles over his words because, let's be real, he has no clue what he's actually saying. But here's the kicker. Do they ever think this is going to work? Because it never does. Fun fact, standing in court and claiming the law doesn't apply to you is about as effective as trying to pay your bills with Monopoly money. It's cringeworthy, yet somehow hilarious at the same time. So, what do you guys think? Should courts start handing out participation trophies for these performances? Let's jump right in and see how this one plays out.
Cochran, well, I can't call, yeah. Mr. DeBus, you want to start your video? Okay, we are back on the record in 2023 TR 2777, State of Kansas versus Anthony Edward DeBus, with Jared Regier for the state, Mr. DeBus in person, and with standby counsel Darren Patterson. Standby because my prior contacts with Mr. DeBus led me to believe that he, even though he wants to represent himself, there's much about the legal system that he doesn't know or understand and would need the benefit, or would certainly benefit, period, from Mr. Patterson's representation. So, Mr. DeBus, at this time, you want to talk to Mr. Patterson and take advantage of his knowledge and experience in the legal system concerning this no driver's license charge, registration, and insurance violations?
Let me ask first, are we on the record? Is there a court reporter present?
Is there a court reporter present? This hearing is live. It is being recorded. Is someone sitting here with their little fingers clicking across the keyboard? No.
So you're saying that this is not currently a court of record?
This is a court of record because this is being recorded, subject to transcription at any time.
Okay. I would ask for a copy of that transcription.
Well, when you file a written motion and pay the transcription fee, sir, that will be arranged.
Okay. And Phyllis K. Webster, will you please recite your oath of office into the court of record then today?
No, sir, I will not.
Why are you refusing to do so?
Let's move along.
I would please like to have that question answered. On another note, I am appearing specially, not generally, under threat of duress and further coercion by...
All right, so this guy right here is a special kind of sovereign citizen. So much so that it's hard to tell if he's just playing dumb or if this is genuinely the best he's got. Honestly, I'm thinking it's a little bit of both. Now, here's where it gets even funnier. This guy actually tries to make the judge recite her oath in court, like that's some kind of magic spell that'll make all his problems disappear. Spoiler alert, it's not, and it never has been. Judges take their oath when they're sworn in. They don't need to repeat it just because some guy with a YouTube-inspired legal strategy demands it. Seriously, what do these people think the endgame is? They copy-paste this nonsense from the internet, march into court, say a bunch of words that mean nothing, and somehow expect the law to bend just for them. Newsflash, it never does. In fact, not a single case we've covered on this channel has ever worked in their favor. So, what do you guys think? Are they truly this clueless, or is it all just an act? Let's jump back in and see how this one plays out.
I did take my oath when I was appointed and when I was elected subsequently. Now, what is it I can help you with today? Do you want a trial, a jury trial, or do you want to enter a plea today?
It seemed like last time we had court, you entered the plea for me.
I did, because you would not.
Okay.
But yet what you were saying suggested you wanted a trial, so I entered the not guilty plea and set it for trial. Somewhere along the line, you led me to believe you wanted a jury trial as opposed to a bench trial. Had I been making the decision, I probably would have said bench trial. But somewhere along the line, you've made comments to make me think you wanted a jury trial. Now, I have not seen, let me double check, I don't think, Mr. DeBoos, that you have filed any kind of demand or request or notice for jury trial. Have you?
I thought that was entered into the last court session.
Well, I don't think you filed any motion. You told me apparently you told me you wanted a jury trial, but you never followed through.
I thought that was a decision that we made as the court.
Well, you and I did not make a decision of any kind. Mr. Patterson, do you believe it's acceptable for him to just say he wants a jury trial?
Your Honor, pursuant to case law, because there are at least up to 1 year in the county jail possible, if it's ever consecutive, then case law would state that he has a right to a jury trial.
Agreed, but does he not need to put something in writing to that effect that he wants one? That was my question.
Because there's an absolute right to jury trial, he would not have to put it in writing. It would have to be specifically waived by him, Your Honor, and I don't think he's done a waiver.
Very well. Do you agree with that, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, what I can say at this time is pursuant to KSA 6238 subsection B, quote, on any issuable trial by right by a jury, a party may demand a jury trial by serving the other parties with a written demand, which may be included in a pleading no later than 14 days after the last pleading directed to the issue is served, and found the demand in accordance with KSA 6205 and amendments thereto.
Mr. Patterson, in spite of that statutory language, do you think he needs to waive his right to jury trial? Did I hear that right?
Absolutely, Judge. Pursuant to case law, and I don't dispute the statute whatsoever, but there is certain case law that makes it a constitutional right to a jury trial if the sentence would be up to a year in the county jail, and in this case, consecutively, it could be up to a year, the longest possible maximum. So it would have to be waived by him, and he would not have to make anything in writing to receive that.
But you don't believe that case law overrules the statutory law, or do you?
This is a constitutional right we're talking about, Your Honor. It would trump the statute.
Okay. So, Mr. Patterson, when you say up to a year in the county jail, are you thinking if they were to be run concurrently, or I mean consecutively versus concurrently?
That would be the longest possible sentence when you start running them consecutively.
You've got to love how this judge is completely ignoring the sovereign citizen and only addressing the attorneys, like he's not even in the room. Honestly, huge respect to her for shutting this nonsense down. So many judges let these guys ramble endlessly, but not this one. It's honestly refreshing to see someone take control instead of letting them turn the courtroom into a circus. And let's talk about Zoom court for a second. Because, wow, these sovereign citizens get way bolder when they're sitting comfortably at home in their office chairs. Something about being behind a screen makes them think they can argue their way out of reality. If this were an in-person hearing, I doubt they'd have the same level of confidence. Instead, we usually just get a shouting match that leads nowhere. That's why I respect this judge. She's handling it like a pro, refusing to feed into the chaos. What do you guys think? It's rare to see a judge shut them down like this. Let's jump back in and see how it plays out.
Your statutory site or your case law sites by chance? I know you didn't expect to pull them out.
It's not one I keep handy, but giving a short recess, I can find that.
Well, now, before you go to that, now, Mr. DeBoos, do you have any idea what's going on here?
I, as a common man, do not comprehend the legalese that you guys are using together. I can look up statutes and case law myself, and considering that this is dealing with a common right to all people granted to us in restriction of government entities for the people itself, I comprehend that I have my right to jury trial, which I think Mr. Patterson, in his brief support towards this and towards me, towards my right to a jury trial, although I do not fully comprehend the legalese that is going on within the association between Jared Regier and yourself, Phyllis K. Webster.
All right, well, Mr. DeBoos, the point is you do have the right to represent yourself, and you've told me you want to represent yourself, and I've asked Mr. Patterson to stand by, and you've already used him here for this purpose. So here's the thing, Mr. DeBoos. No, let me talk now, Mr. DeBoos. Here's the thing. If you're going to represent yourself, you need to be able to make your own arguments. You need to be able to cite your own law. And if you cannot do that, you have the right to legal assistance, which is why Mr. Patterson is here. And you've already this quickly run into a legal snag that he's made the argument for you. Does it not make sense to you, and do you not want to have his legal assistance to let him represent you?
I do not wish to be represented by an attorney whose duty first is to the courts and not to their clients. And if we're speaking on rights in regards to laws and statutes, the arrest made on me by Deputy K. Barriquet was an unlawful arrest.
All right,
for
well, we're not going on
22-2401.
We're not going down that path right now, sir. Well, the issue is, so you do want a jury trial. Are you ready to proceed on Wednesday, Mr. DeBoos?
May I ask that there be an extension so that way I may fully research the procedures of the administrative criminal law which you're trying to try me on?
Say what you will about sovereign citizens, but you have to give them credit for one thing: unshakable confidence. I mean, who else walks into court knowing absolutely nothing about the law, risking their entire freedom, and still acts like they're the next great legal mastermind? It's almost impressive, almost seriously. How do they keep a straight face while arguing with a real judge using legal theories they probably picked up from some sketchy corner of the internet? Is it pure ignorance? Misplaced bravery? Or, hear me out, are they secretly the smartest people on the planet? And we're the ones missing something? Well, I'll let you guys decide. Are they clueless, or are we just not seeing their grand plan? Let's dive back in and find out.
Procedure.
Although you are in an administrative court under the state of Kansas Corporation, correct?
I'm here in a criminal traffic trial, and I am not an administrative law judge. So here's what we're going to do. How much time do you want this continued for?
30 days or so seems to be a standard.
Well, my next available jury trial date would be October 2nd and 3rd. So
2024.
2024. So that's when I will continue this at your request to. I'll grant your continuance, but that's my next available date. And your pretrial will be September 30th, 2024. Do you have any objections to that?
No objections.
And Mr. Patterson, do you have any legal authority that suggests that I reaffirm my oath for him? Do you have anything that says I should do that?
Judge, I'm afraid I've never researched that issue, never heard that issue.
All right. Well, same here. I do have my oath in front of me. Keep it handy, but I don't see the need to repeat that.
I've got to say, I love this judge. If only more judges had this kind of no-nonsense attitude. She's absolutely perfect for dealing with these clowns. The way she handled this guy, flawless. It was like watching a pro swat away a fly, and you know it crushed his soul when she shut him down with that question to the attorney. It's as if she took his little script, shredded it right in front of him, and I am so here for it. But let's talk about the real insanity here. This guy is staring down a whole year behind bars, and his master plan was asking the judge to recite her oath. As if that was going to magically save him. And to top it off, he admitted he doesn't even know the law, yet still chose to represent himself. That's like trying to captain a team without knowing the rules of the game. Next level delusion. And of course, the funniest part. These sovereign citizens always think they're winning, even when they're sinking faster than the Titanic anyway. That's a wrap. What do you guys think? Did the judge handle this perfectly? Or is this guy somehow a secret legal genius who just won his case without us realizing? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Thanks for watching. Take care.